Mexico has had some talented strikers in their history. Javier Hernandez, Carlos Hermosillo, and of course Hugo Sanchez. But a new striker is now looking to join this group. Santi Gimenez, one of the most informed strikers in the world right now, already has 15 goals in 12 appearances this season for Feyenoord. What led to the 22-year-old Mexican becoming one of Europe's most coveted forwards, and his remarkable start in Europe could only be the beginning of a glorious career. Here is the rise of Santiago Gimenez. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, son of footballer Cristian Gimenez, who transferred to Mexico when Santi was 3 years old. Although Santi was born in Argentina, he has stated that he feels more Mexican. Of course, being raised in a football family, it seemed like an obvious route to become a professional footballer. Santi joined the Cruz Azul Academy in 2014, the same club his dad played over 200 games. He made his debut for the first team in 2017 versus Tigres, before eventually making his Liga MX debut in 2019 against Tijuana. As Santi gained more and more starts for Cruz Azul, the talent was slowly visible to see. In the 1920 season, he had 2 goals in 9 appearances. In 2021 season, he had 6 goals in 44 appearances, and in 21-22 season, 9 goals in 43 appearances. His numbers mainly come down to either playing in a 2-striker formation next to Angulo, or coming off the bench. Santi though exploded at the beginning of the 22-23 season, scoring 5 goals in the first 5 games of the Liga MX season. The European interest began to rumble after such a hot start. On the 29th of July, Eredivisie side Feyenoord signed Santi for a reported fee of 6 million euros. A club known for developing very good players, this seemed like the perfect scenario for Santi to progress with his career. As we've seen in the past, many Mexican players are hesitant on making the move to Europe, and for Santi, he saw Eric Gutierrez, Edson Alvarez, and Chucky Lozano make the move to the Eredivisie in recent years, so it was a good choice by him and Feyenoord signing a striker that could develop into a top striker in the next couple of years. When Santi joined Feyenoord, he said, "I deliberately chose this step and I'm grateful to everyone for the warm welcome. I believe that together we can work towards something very beautiful and experience great success." Santi was signed to be a future project, not to be an immediate starter, and it was evident in the beginning of his Feyenoord career, mainly coming off the bench as Danilo was the starter for Feyenoord. He only started 3 games in the Eredivisie before the World Cup and only scoring 2 goals. However, in the Europa League, with only 1 start in the group stage, he still managed to score 4 goals, including a critical goal versus Lazio in the final game of the group stage to win the group for Feyenoord. Due to the move and new style of football, that Santi would need time to adapt, especially to Arne Slot's style of football, which depends on high intense pressing from the striker. But after the World Cup, we saw a completely new Santi. Receiving more starts for Arne Slot's side, Santi responded with a crazy goal-scoring streak. Santi recorded 13 goals for the rest of the season in the Eredivisie, including an 8-game streak of scoring 1 goal at least. All these goals helped Feyenoord to win their first Eredivisie title since 2017. The clear improvement was apparent in Santi's game. In his last season for Cruz Azul, Santi averaged 4.3 touches in the opposition box. However, his first season for Feyenoord, that figure almost doubled, and averaging 8.3 touches, similar to his overall touches in the game, where before he wasn't involved in the build-up play at all. Now Santi is more involved, and this is testament to Slot's style of play. Over the summer, Santi joined El Tri for the Gold Cup. Santi's El Tri career hasn't really flourished as of now compared to his club career. He made his debut for El Tri in 2021, also getting his first goal for El Tri versus Chile in a friendly. Before the World Cup in 2022, Santi wasn't in form for Feyenoord and didn't showcase enough in the limited time for El Tri under manager Tata Martino. He did, however, make the 31-man squad for the World Cup, but wasn't selected, and the reasoning from Tata's perspective was, "We highly value Santi. I call him up when he was not a starter for Cruz Azul. Now he's a top scorer in Europe's top tier, but he doesn't play a lot of minutes. Currently, there are other experienced players ahead of him, and unfortunately for Santi, he did not make the final squad. Tata instead went for experienced strikers like Raul Jimenez, Henry Martin, and Rogelio Funes Mori."
To explain the decision. That's how unfair this is. They needed 2 phone calls to try to explain this because nobody can explain it.
Mexico, though, would eventually go out in the group stage of the World Cup, and the forwards managed only 1 goal in 3 games. Maybe they could have used Santi. But in the summer, Santi helped Mexico secure their first Gold Cup since 2019, scoring 2 goals in the tournament and only starting 1 game throughout the tournament. This included scoring the winning goal in the final versus Panama, where he was substituted onto the field in the 84th minute and scored a brilliant individual goal in his crowning moment so far for El Tri. After a successful first season in Europe and a glorious moment for Mexico, Santi's second season for Feyenoord has been nothing short of spectacular. In his first 10 games of the Eredivisie season, Santi already has 13 goals, including a hat-trick away at arch rivals Ajax, and becoming the first Feyenoord player ever in the history of this fixture to score a hat-trick away. This season also saw the debut for Santi in the Champions League. After being suspended for the first 2 games, Santi made his debut versus Lazio, and on his debut, he scored 2 goals, becoming the second Mexican to score on his debut in the Champions League. Also becoming the 3rd player to score twice in the Champions League for Feyenoord after Julio Cruz and Jon Dahl Tomasson.
And he scores 2 goals in his Champions League debut. Early age, he's showing all the signs of a player who could have a great career.
Santi Gimenez up front.
Yeah,
that's a player and a half. That goal that he scored, the way
he's so
the way he
strong and
turned,
skillful. He's got everything.
No doubt, Santi right now is a player full of confidence and consistently improving his game more and more. Not just a poacher or just a striker in the box, but getting involved with the build-up, and his finishing is just so elite. Santi is just flourishing right now under Arne Slot. You cannot name a better manager for Santiago's career, and he will continue to improve more and more as his game develops and he gets more and more used to the physicality and the speed of European football if he hasn't already. And you see how he's doing in the Champions League with the performance against Lazio. Hopefully Feyenoord will make it to the round of 16, so then he goes up against the elite of European football. And not only is this great news for Feyenoord, but for Mexico, the national team that have been so dreadful the last couple of years, this is excellent news, because after Raul Jimenez's horrific injury, they haven't had a striker to really get them the goals. And with them hosting the World Cup in 2026, El Tri should be banking on Gimenez being their star guy for that World Cup. But as we have seen already in this video, the career choices by Santi and his father for guidance are paying off massively. And because of these improvements in his game, many clubs across Europe are monitoring the striker, including the likes of Tottenham, Real Madrid, and Feyenoord reportedly have set an asking price of 100 million euros for the striker. Certainly Santi will move away from Feyenoord next summer, so Feyenoord fans enjoy while it lasts. But no doubt, right now, Santi is enjoying life in Rotterdam and is emerging as one of the best strikers in the world at the age of only 22 years old. So all I have to say is, remember the name, Santiago Gimenez. Thank you all for watching. This is the rise of Santiago Gimenez, the El Tri's future star striker. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. How good is Santi Gimenez? Can he be a top 5 striker in the world? How important will he be for the Mexican national team in 2026? And how many goals is he going to get this season? Because right now, he's on pace to get 40. Remember to hit the like button. We're going to get to 200 likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And until next time, adios.
Explain something.